I'm Bridgette with PotomacBeads.com. Join me today as we create these primrose earrings using some of the new Potomac metal DiscDuos and Potomac crystal cushions. If you need any of the materials, they were listed at the beginning of the video, as well as below me in the description area. You'll find links to both PotomacBeads.com and PotomacBeads.eu, where you'll find a full list of all the materials I used as well as exact colors. So go ahead and grab your materials and come create with me. So to start these primrose earrings, I already have my Potomac DiscDuos here on my thread, and I have 4 sets of 2. So I have 2, and then in between each one I have an 11-0 seed bead. So you'll do 2 DiscDuos seed bead, 2 DiscDuos seed bead, 2 DiscDuos seed bead, until you have those 4 sets. So ending on a seed bead, I'm going to go ahead and connect this with that first set of DiscDuos, and I'm just going to take my thread and go around a second time just so I make sure that that's nice and tight. Just go ahead and retrace your steps until you're back to that first DiscDuo. And you can pull it tight while you're going, or just thread them on and pull it tight once you get all the way around. So once you are all the way around, you'll kind of get that base for your cushion crystal, and it'll start to look a little bit like a square, kind of like a rounded square here. And that's because of the seed beads that we have in there to kind of make that corner. All right, so once we're all the way around, you can kind of see that shape come to life. So you should have kind of like a round square almost. So you'll have your 2 sets as each side. And that'll start as your base for your crystal there. And from here, what we're gonna do, so we're coming out of one of those DiscDuos. I'm gonna keep going until I'm coming out of this seed bead here. So just make your way to the closest 11-0 that you're by. And you'll wanna come out of that 11-0. And from there, I'm gonna pick up 4 more 11-0s, and I'm going to connect each one of my 11-0s. So you'll pick up just 4, and then jump over your DiscDuos and just into that next 11. So just through your seed bead. And we're going to do the same around each side. So again, coming out of your 11-0, you're going to pick up 4 more 11s, and just go ahead and connect to that very next 11-0. So from here, I'm going to jump over these DiscDuos and just go through that 11 there. So go ahead and do that to your next 2 sides, and you'll have it'll look like a square inside of these DiscDuos. So for this next step, so after you have your square in here, made up of those, each side with the 4 seed beads, you're going to be coming out of this last seed bead here in the corner. And I'm now going to be jumping into using 15-0s instead of 11-0s. And I'm going to go into that DiscDuo that's right next to that last seed bead. And I'm just going to go through those 2 on that one side. So here I'm coming out of the DiscDuo up along the side, and I'm going to pick up 13 of my 15-0s. So we're going to start the netting for our crystal chaton here, or our crystal cushion. So you'll have 13. And again, with the netting, you always want to make sure you're using an odd count of your seed beads so that you do have that center bead that you'll be able to connect with. All right, so let me just double check that I have 13 here. Yep, 11. So from here, once you have your 13 seed beads, I'm going to jump across those 2 DiscDuos and go back through them. So again, I'm coming out of this DiscDuo here, and I'm just going to jump across and go through those same 2 DiscDuos again. So again, it's still going through that bottom hole of your DiscDuo. Just creating that loop there. So now I'm going to work on the next side. So I'm going to go through both of my DiscDuos. And again, I'll be adding 13 of my 15-Os and making that loop again. There we go. So again, we're coming out of this DiscDuo here. We're going to add 13 of your seed beads and then come back around to this DiscDuo and go through. So again, we'll have 13. Okay. And we'll go back through those 2 DiscDuos that we just went through. So again, we're coming out of here. We're going to jump back and go through this one here. So making that loop on this one side. And we're going to do this to all sides. So go ahead and finish up your last 2 sides. Again, I'm coming out here. I'm going to go through my 2 DiscDuos, add on my 13 of my 15-O seed beads, and loop it through, going back through. All right, so finish up these 2 sides and I'll meet you back over here. So once we're finished with our kind of 4 loops on each one of our sides, they'll kind of look a little bit like this. Right now we're coming out of that DiscDuo, so after putting on this last loop, kind of going through those last 2 DiscDuos, I'm going to go up through that loop that we just added on, and I'm going to go through the first 7 of my seed beads. So again, that 7th bead is the one that's right in the center, so there's going to be 6 beads on either side of it. So you're going to count up through until you're through that 7th bead. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. And coming out of that, we're going to pick up 2 of our 15s and count up to the 7th bead of our next loop and just go through that 1 bead. So just that 1 bead. And we'll do the same for this next one. Pick up 2 15s, counting up to that 7th seed bead, and just going through that 1 bead. And this is going to be the netting that holds in our crystal. Can't seem to get it. There we go. So you don't want to pull it too tight right now because we're still gonna want to have room to put in the crystal. So we have, again, 2 of your 15s up through that 7th seed bead. And just that single bead. And the last one, again, 2 of your seed beads. And through that 7th seed bead that our thread is originally coming through. So pull your needle through, and then here you can kind of loosen it up a little bit to be able to put your crystal in. So this is why you don't want to make it too tight right off the bat. You want to just kind of thread those seed beads on, and then here you can pull it nice and tight. And we'll actually go through those that we just added on so we can get it even tighter, so that we're not seeing any of those threads. So again, just going through, retracing your steps around your netting. So go ahead and go through that maybe once or twice more until you have it nice and tight, and we'll work on the next step from there. Now that our netting is finished and we have it nice and tight here to hold in that crystal, you're going to follow just one of your thread paths down towards the DiscDuos. So I just went back through this loop here, and so I'm down here next to my DiscDuos. I'm going to jump into that DiscDuo that's right next to my needle, and I'm going through that second hole now, and I'm going to go ahead and add my wire guard. Now here's where you want to decide how you want your earrings to hang. I want mine to kind of have the netting as an X here, so I'm going to put my wire guard in between one of these sets of 2s. Now if you want, you can have it hang this way, and then you can have the wire guard up here. So if you want it more of like a diamond shape, you can do it that way. So just decide which way you want to do it and make sure you have your wire guard where you need it. And so I'm coming out of that DiscDuo. I'm going to pick up one of my 11s and one of my 2mm crystals. And now I'm going to go through my wire guard. So just up and down through that wire guard. And then back through just that crystal that we added on. And after that, I'll add on one more of my 15s and go through that next DiscDuo. And then we have our wire guard right there on top. Now from here, I'm just going to add on a crystal in between each one of my DiscDuos until I get directly opposite of my wire guard, and that's where I'll add one of my briolets. So we're going to go through just adding on our crystals here. So we'll do 3 crystals, and then we'll be right where we want our briolet to hang. Alright, so I have my briolet just right underneath where my wire guard is. So I'm going to pick up and just go through my briolet there, and just keep on going through my DiscDuos and adding on my crystals until I'm all the way around. Now that we have all of our crystals all the way around, what I did was, this was our last crystal that we added on, so I retraced my steps through that DiscDuo and up and around my wire guard one more time. And coming out of that 15-0 that's underneath your wire guard, you're going to add 6 of your 15s and jump across to that next crystal. So these 15s are just going to outline our DiscDuos. And then from here we'll add another 6 of our 15s and do the same thing. Just jump over to your next crystal. And so we'll do this all the way around until we have our whole earring kind of outlined with those 15s. So I've just finished outlining my whole earring here, and I'm coming out of that last of my 15-Os here, which was actually one of the 15-Os that is originally connected to my crystal and my wire guard. So I'm just coming out of that one, and I have one of my 15s, and I'm going to go through that next, just jump over and go through that next 15 and through that DiscDuo. So that'll just kind of fit right there in the center of your seed beads. So now I'm coming out of this DiscDuo over here, and you can either just tie off your thread here, or you can make your way down and tie off with your tail end here. Either way, you can either just tie them off separately or make your way back down and tie it off together. But other than that, you're all set with your primrose earrings. Thanks for joining, and I hope you enjoyed creating your own primrose earrings. Remember, if you do need any of these materials, to go ahead and click that link below me. That'll take you to PotomacBeads.com or PotomacBeads.eu, where you'll find a full list of exact materials and colors that I used today. And while you're down there, you can also click on that bell button. That'll subscribe you to our channel, and it'll keep you up to date with any new notifications or any new tutorials and videos we have out for you. And as always, we love to hear from you, so definitely comment below. I'd love to see how these designs helped inspire your own.